What's up YouTube? In today's video we will be taking a look at this Acer Aspire 2010. No, it is not made in 2010, it is actually made in 2004. This laptop had already got some views over on my TikTok, which is shown here. But I wanted to make a full retrospective type review of it. So it runs Windows XP Professional, and it is powered by an Intel Pentium M with the Banius codename. So it's the first Pentium M it's powered by. So first we'll be taking a look at the upgradability, so I will flip it over and we'll take a look at the back. Okay, I know this isn't the best way to film, but I do not have an overhead camera type thing, so we'll just be using my TV stand. So to start, we have a removable battery, something you do not see in most modern laptops. Only work-focused and rugged ones seem to have removable batteries, such as the Panasonic Toughbooks. So, and now this is the hard drive caddy. Okay, just wait. So the drive is a 40 gig Hitachi drive. It's just a standard 2.5 inch IDE drive. And then this is our RAM door. So it's just a single 256 megabyte stick. The other stick is under the keyboard, as I've been deep inside this system in the past. So that's how I know. So it has a total of 512 megabytes, which was typical for the early 2000s. And that is our Wi-Fi card. And yes, the system does have Wi-Fi, which wasn't a common option in 2004 for a lot of computers, because even then people were still using laptops wired. So that's it for hardware. We will get to starting it up. Okay, so normally laptop batteries get degraded and just don't work at all by this age of this laptop, but in this one it's actually fully intact, and I managed to get up to like 50 minutes on battery with this, which is quite amazing for the age of this system. And I'm not sure if it is the original battery, but Crystal Disk Info shows that the drive has quite a lot of hours on it, over 30,000. Actually, I think over 40,000. Yeah, the battery still works on this system, despite its age. And that sound brings back memories for me, because the first computers I used were Windows XP systems, as I was born in the early 2000s, so, and XP was still pretty relevant. Actually, the main OS that businesses, organizations, schools, and even people in their personal households still used throughout the 2000s. So we'll be taking a look at CPU-Z to see those specs, like for the CPU and whatnot. This system does not have a GPU. It does not. So I'm not sure it would game in its time period, really. Maybe low frames, lowest settings. That's probably about it, and I don't have any games on hand to try on this system at the moment, so we'll wait for that to load. So this is our CPU, an Intel Pentium M of the Banius codename. It is a single core, single thread CPU, and it has the MMX SSE and SSE2 instruction sets. There is no SSE3s, which means that this PC will not be able to run Windows 8 and higher, even though the specs, you wouldn't really want to run Windows 8 or higher on this system unless you upgraded the RAM to the maximum supported 2 gigabytes. So our main board is just whatever, and we have 512 megs of RAM and Windows XP Professional Service Pack 3, build 2600. Yeah, that's it. So we will be taking the system online if it will show networks. I've been having a lot of issues with this computer lately with Wi-Fi. It just doesn't find them much anymore. So I had to perform a restart to get the Wi-Fi working. Don't know what's with this laptop lately, but it's only been doing that recently now where the Wi-Fi just doesn't work. And I know it's not the physical switch to turn it off. And yes, this has a physical wireless switch to turn it off and on, which you do not see in any type of modern device at all. Kinda wish they still had that for when you need to kill your network connection for whatever reason. So looking at the properties of the computer, we have an Acer Aspire 2010 CL32. I forgot to add the extra part of the model number. So it is a 1.5 GHz CPU and it's reporting 496 megabytes of RAM, meaning that the other RAM is probably reserved for graphics or something else. So we do not get the full RAM when using this system, and this seems to be the case with all of my XP systems that do not have any type of graphics installed. So how does it hold up today? This is actually one of my worst performing systems I have on hand that runs Windows XP, and yes, I have 4 systems I think that run Windows XP, including this one. So of course, typing documents in Word 2003 is actually quite easy and still doable in the modern day because it's a period correct word processor. Yeah, you can type documents offline, but forget about it if you want to do it on the cloud. I've always had problems with cloud word processors on the current browsers that support Windows XP, which are already around 5 years old, just like this version of Firefox I have installed on this system, which is the latest version of any big browser available for Windows XP. So let's see just how fast that old Wi-Fi card is. If you're wondering why there's tape on the screen, that's because that's where my IP address gets exposed when I do the speed test. So let's take a look at the speed. I know this isn't a fast card. I have done speed tests before, and the site does have some slight lag issues on Windows XP in this version of Firefox. Like, I mean, it's a 5-year-old browser, but it does pull up a lot of modern websites without issues most of the time. But speed tests seem to lag. So 11.3 megabits down. And what are we gonna get for upload? And it looks like it froze on us. I will return when it's done. So we ended up with a 3.1 upload. So yeah, this card is pretty bad by today's standards, but with these speeds you can still get away with modern day web browsing. But back in 2004, this would have been considered fast. So yeah, that's what we get for our Wi-Fi speed. Remember when I said the hard drive has lots of hours on it? We'll check that right away. So go to downloads where I have it saved, because there's no installer for Crystal Disk Info on Windows XP. So I had to extract it to the downloads folder. Yeah, that's just where I keep it. I usually don't delete stuff from the downloads folder on anything unless I have to. I will return when it... oh, never mind. So it's a 40 gig hard drive. It only features smart APM and AAM. It's been powered on 424 times, and it's been on for a total of 46,131 hours, or 5 years, 97 days, and 3 hours, which is a lot for a computer, pretty much. Except I do have a newer system than this, where the hard drive was 39,000 before I swapped it for an SSD, which was a lot of hours for a computer that's only 11 years old. Okay, for some reason it just went into standby mode on its own, even though the battery's not even close to dying. It's at 35%, which is quite the drain when it was at 70 something before filming this video, so I guess it all depends on usage. The most I pushed was 50 out of its original battery, which of course is degraded at this point. We'll take a look at the system information to see other components that we cannot see. So yeah, it's Windows XP Professional with the build 3600, and it is an Aspire 2010. The BIOS is dated 4/20/2004, and we do have 512 megabytes of RAM and a page file size of 1.13 gigabytes. So that's what we have there. There's not really much I can do on this system due to its age and the fact that it's not as powerful as the desktops that I have. But in 2004, this would have been a pretty good value. Like, you got lots of upgradability. The repairability, I would say, is easy too, as I've been deeper inside of it. The display, it's a bit dim in sunlight or just any daylight, it looks dim. That's my one complaint, but for 2004, this isn't a bad system. It also has a DVD rewritable drive. And some models came with Bluetooth. Like, mine still has the Bluetooth button and all that, but looks like the card in the system is not equipped with it. So yeah, it's just a good laptop. In 2004 it was, but in the modern day, it's not really usable. My Windows XP desktops are much more usable than this in the modern day. So yeah, so we'll be ending the video here. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.